Hey everyone, thank you for watching. So today's video we're going to be trying a new makeup like I do on Fridays over here on my channel, and I have so much to try out today. To try to run through everything quickly, I'm going to try out the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I got a little sample of it. I have the Milk Makeup Blur Liquid Foundation, and then I also have the new powders from Milk Makeup as well, the new setting powders. I have the new concealer from First Aid Beauty, the Bendy Avocado Concealer. I have, what else do I have in here? I have a new palette to me from Viseart. This is the Warm Mattes palette. I have a Dazzle shadow from MAC Cosmetics to try. I have a new highlight palette from Sleek Makeup that we're gonna try, and also a liquid lip from Persona Cosmetics. We have so much to try out this week. Let's get started. Okay, so we are zoomed in, ready to go. I'm gonna start off with my face because I feel like we have majority of face products. I was actually gonna have this one focused all on the face, and then I got some new eye products and things just got carried away. So we're just doing pretty much a full face of trying out some new makeup. So like I said, I'm gonna try out a sample of the Tatcha Silk Canvas Filter Finish Protective Primer. I got a little sample off of Sephora, so that is what the sample card looks like. So many people have been raving about this guy that I was like, okay, I just wanna try it. People are saying you need a really small amount. I feel like that might be too big. I'm gonna brush a little off there, but people are saying you need a really tiny amount, so hopefully I can get like several uses out of this primer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and work that into my skin. It does almost feel kind of like putty-like when you apply it, but it's like really soft and really smooth too. I feel like I can kind of help tell that it like filled in some pores around this area for me, and I like the way it feels. Like it makes my skin feel really soft, so that's pretty good. But I'm excited to try it out a couple more times because like I said, I know people are really raving about it, but it's such a pricey primer, so I'm glad to get a little sample of it. Okay, so for foundation, Milk Makeup did send me over some of their Blur Liquid foundations. They have a few new shades out, so they sent me over a handful of shades, and I chose out the shade Medium for me. It says on the Sephora website it's for medium with neutral undertones, so I do have more neutral undertones. I don't know if medium might be a little bit too dark for me. I am pretty tan though on my actual body, especially because we floated the river last weekend. So I'm just gonna give this one a try. So it is a matte finish. It says it's ultra weightless, a full coverage foundation. It's supposed to be oil free and silicone free. Also let your skin breathe. So I'm not a huge fan of matte full coverage, but we're gonna test it out for today's purposes. It does also say to shake well, and it says you only need 1 to 2 drops. So apparently like a very little bit goes a long way. Here's what the applicator looks like. I'm also going to be applying it with this new brush here from Sigma. So Sigma just came out with the F80 Air. This is the flat kabuki. So this is really similar to their original F80 that so many people love, including myself, except it now is in a duo fiber form. This is $25, and it's also, Sigma brushes are now all have like the 2-year warranty on them, which is awesome. I've never had a Sigma brush fall apart on me at all, but if you have any issues, their brushes are now with a 2-year warranty, which I think is awesome. It says get lightweight buildable coverage with a feathery soft dual fiber bristles for a natural finish. So I'm going to go ahead and use this brush. I've used it a couple times already and I really quite like it. I really do like the F80. I never really gravitated a ton towards duo fiber, but I'm giving it a shot, and so far I really do like it. So I'm just going to do a couple like drops here on my hand because I watched the Milk Makeup video and that's what people did. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the 2 drops on my hand and then just kind of swirl it in here, even though that's not normally the way I apply foundation, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So here's what that one looks like. Again, I grabbed out the shade Medium, it was. So I'm just gonna kind of dip my brush in there and then start to apply. Okay, so I'm glad that they said to only use like a small amount, because I totally would have gone in like how I normally would with a foundation, and I can already tell that you do need a super, super tiny amount with this foundation, which is awesome. It means that, you know, it'll last forever, but woo, I could have seen myself going way overboard with that if I wasn't careful. This is what the foundation looks like, pretty blended out on my skin. I feel like the shade match still isn't great, but everything else that they sent me had more of the warm undertone, but I still feel like this one is like fairly yellow on me. So not sure that I love this color totally, but it definitely is looking pretty matte on my skin, but I don't really notice anything too bad. Sometimes with matte foundations it can kind of like I don't know, show my dry patches, especially here around my forehead. I don't notice that. I feel like it covered really well. I've had some breakouts on my chin. I feel like it covered that pretty well. I don't notice anything like kind of caking wise around my nose yet either, so that's a good sign. I do have more dry skin. I'm kind of like more combo right now, but I can still have some of those dry patches, and sometimes matte foundations just really emphasize those, but I don't see that happening right now. So it's not a bad finish, I don't think. I think it looks pretty nice on my skin. I just wish that my shade match was a little bit better, but that's okay. Again, I'll keep trying out the brush. I've only tried it 2 more times so far. Right now, I'm just really into having a beauty blender to apply my foundation. It's basically just when I get into my phases of wanting to use a beauty blender, like I'm all in, and then I'll switch and like want to use a brush for months on end. Right now, I'm full on beauty blender, but I didn't notice anything. I think I worry with duo fibers that like my foundation will look streaky or something, or it just won't look as natural, but I don't notice that. So far so good with the Sigma brush. So next up, I'm gonna try the concealer. This is from a First Aid Beauty. It's the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. I did get this one sent to me from Octoly, so thank you to Octoly and First Aid Beauty for sending this over. So it says it's supposed to provide buildable, weightless coverage to hydrate and also nourish the skin. So I've tried this a couple times so far, and so far I actually really do like it. Here's what the wand looks like. Go ahead and apply under my eyes and also a little bit on my eyelid as well to act as my eye primer. So I got the shade Light, I believe it is, and I think it's again a little yellow on me and maybe just a little bit dark. This says shade 3, which I'm pretty sure was Light. And I noticed too that the shade range isn't great on this one, which sucks. I hope they come out with more, because kind of just based on the couple of times that I've tried it so far, I actually really do like it. But this, even the light shade, I just feel like is a little bit too dark for me and a little bit too yellow for me. So I did notice that, but I really am liking the concealer. I like the coverage it gave. And again, I agree that it's more of like a hydrating concealer, which I actually do prefer, but it still has a good coverage on it. And I just think it made the under eye area look really smooth each time I've worn it. So I've been liking this one. Sometimes I would use concealer and do, you know, any other coverage that I would need, like on my chin or my forehead area, but really that Milk makeup is pretty darn full coverage, and I feel almost kind of like it's settling a little bit more into my skin, and I feel like the color is getting a little bit better too, so that's nice to see. But I also did have Milk Makeup sent over their new setting powders, so I grabbed out 2 here. They come in translucent light, translucent medium, and then translucent deep, which that will go into a future giveaway of mine. So got some powders here that I thought we could try out. I'm really not a big setting powder person myself, but again, for the sake of this video, trying out some new makeup, giving you my thoughts, I thought I could let you know. So it says to blur and set, and then when you take the top off, you have your little powder puff here, and then you would go ahead and push this open. It kind of reminds me of the Becca, the Hydro Blur that she came out with. You do open it all the way, you have like the little netting in there, so I'm just gonna kind of shake it a little bit and then try to see what we can get out here for product. I feel like I'm having a lot of difficulty getting any product out. Like I'm shaking it, I'm tapping it, and like nothing's really happening, so okay. I grabbed out the light to set my concealer, so we'll try that first. So I'm just gonna try to, I don't know, push into the net and see if I can get any product that way. That's kind of hard to get some product out, but I'm just gonna put it right onto my sponge here and then use that to set underneath. I'm gonna go through it again, trying to get some more product out, tapping it, shaking it, tapping it, shaking it. It's Friday. What else do you do on a Friday? Tap it, shake it. It doesn't really seem to work when I do that. So what I do is I just keep pressing my sponge into the netting to get some out. Okay, it's like a workout. It's like a workout for your makeup. It's nice. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for here on this side. It seems like to be a very lightweight powder, and I don't know if it's just because I'm like struggling to get any out of the actual container, but I like that it's lightweight. Because like I said, I'm not really big into loose setting powders for both my under eye and just my makeup in general, but figured we could try it out, and it does seem pretty nice. It does seem fairly like blurring as well. Hit myself in the nose. It does seem to be pretty blurring also. So in addition with the primer and the foundation, like I feel like my pores are looking pretty non-existent at the moment, which is nice. So that's pretty good. I was trying to decide between the light or the medium to actually set my makeup with. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the light, and that way I'll be able to save the medium for a giveaway too, and not be, because I wouldn't be able to use medium like year round, I don't think. So I'm just gonna kind of go ahead and tap my other part of the Beauty Blender into that, and then use this to also set the makeup. Hopefully it won't be too light, but the foundation was kind of dark anyways, so maybe this will kind of actually help lighten it up. I'm just struggling with this packaging, trying to get some product out, but I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm using the Beauty Blender to apply it into the skin, to set the makeup, blur the makeup, all that good stuff. After I use a, you know, more full coverage foundation, then especially since I'm using so much powder on my face, I would definitely make sure to spray it with a setting spray to kind of help melt everything together. And days where I go pretty hard on the powder, I especially like to make sure that I'm using a setting spray to help it look a little bit more natural. I feel like my skin is looking pretty darn like smooth, but I am starting to notice, you know, some like cakiness happening here around my nose especially. But everything else, like I feel like my pores look really smoothed out here. Like everything looks really like blurred out, which I do quite enjoy. So here's just a little close-up of what my skin's looking like right now. Alrighty, so I did have to let my camera cool down. So off camera I did bronzer, blush, and then also my brows. I'm gonna switch over to eyes for a little bit here. So for the eyes, I'm gonna be using two different products. This here is from Viseart. It's the Warm Mattes palette, which looks like this. I actually got a PR package from Viseart, which whoa, that was crazy. So they have this palette in here, and then I also got a really cool package from MAC Cosmetics, and I was trying to decide what to use, and I have never tried the Dazzle shadows, and I really want to try this. So this is the Dazzle Shadow Liquid, and the shade I chose to use is Rayon Rays, and it looks like this. So I just thought this was really pretty. So instead of using this by itself, which I felt like I could, I kind of like to put just like a little bit of like a neutral transition into my crease and whatnot, and then come in with like the Stila glitters, the Pixie glitters, things like that. So I figured like why not just use this one? So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this palette looks like this looks like a really nice fall palette, especially this column right here. So the Viseart palettes, these are $80, which is super pricey. They don't have mirrors, which drives me a little batty, because if you guys know, I don't have a table or anything. I don't have a mirror in front of me, so I have to hold my little mirror the whole time. So that's it's a little crazy, but I'm just gonna come in here and grab out a shade. We have all these beautiful brown transitions in here that I'm like, which one should I use? I think I'm just gonna go with this one right here first, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Bdellium Tools. This is the 785 Tapered Blending, one of my favorite blending brushes. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start to work that into the crease. Again, this is a step that I don't always take when using glitters, but a lot of times I do. It just kind of makes me feel like things look a little bit more blended onto the eyelids. So I'm not really going to be able to get like a good feel for the Viseart palette today. I'll probably use a few of the shadows on my lower lash line too, but I'll definitely try it a little bit more. I have reviewed some of the Viseart palettes in the past, and while I think that they're okay, it's hard for me to justify the high price point on these. But we'll go, you know, I'll go ahead and try this one out as well. As always, when I'm doing first impression style videos, trying new makeup, etc., I will come back in a couple weeks and do a follow-up video and give my reviews on everything that I tried. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Alrighty, so I'm going to come in with the Dazzle Shadow. These are $22. Reading off the MAC website, it says that they're supposed to be a lightweight cooling formula that sets quickly for the ultimate second skin texture that feels ultra soft on the lids. It comes in a variety of different finishes and of course different shades, and it's supposed to have up to an 8-hour wear. So this is what the applicator looks like on these. So the one that I chose out in Rayon Rays is a shimmer finish, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply this directly onto my eyes. I do have a little brush here. Maybe if I have a little brush, here with me as well in case I feel like I need to move it around at all. But a lot of times, like when I'm using the Stila and the Pixie glitters, I just kind of come right in with the applicator. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start to apply this onto my eyelid, and I'm just gonna push it all over. I'm gonna cover my full eyelid. Ooh, that's really pretty. With glitters, I do like to work pretty quickly because once they dry, that's when I can notice like any fallout issues, like getting the glitter on my face and such. And it did say that these do dry quickly, so I'm just trying to work quickly to cover my whole eyelid here. Okay, so there is what Rayon Rays looks like. I can definitely tell as I was kind of like completing the glitter, I could tell that it was already drying pretty quickly. And again, once it dries, I try not to like manipulate it at all because that's when I can notice it coming onto my face. But that's really pretty. So again, this one is a shimmer finish, and I do feel like it has some nice little shimmer there. It's just more of like the liquid eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. I think I'm wishing it was a little bit more glittery, but I probably should have paid attention to the different finishes on the different shades. This just particular shade just caught my attention, but I do still like how shimmery it is. And this one seemed pretty easy to apply as well. I added a little bit of pure liner into my waterline. This is one of their On Point liners in Hotline. And I noticed as I did that, like I'm starting to get some like funkiness right here. And it felt like it was totally dry, and I almost feel like there's a little bit of skipping on this eye too. So I just wanted to point that out. So I might maybe take my blending brush here and just kind of softly kind of blend the edges, which I don't normally do this with my Stila ones because that's when I notice getting some fallout, but I don't like how, I don't know, I don't like how that looks. I think that looks a little bit smoother after doing just a little bit of blending. I don't notice really anything on my face either, but I don't know. I'll have to try a few of the other Dazzle shadows because I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's doing some like weird clumping things over in here, and I don't know. I'll try a few other ones. That's the first time I've ever tried a Dazzle shadow, and especially the new liquid ones. So I'll try out a few other shades, a few other finishes, and see how we do. Before I pop on my mascara, I'm going to do my highlight real quick. So I got a package from Sleek Makeup, and it has the new highlighting palette in there. This is in Copperplate. So I have their other highlighting palette, and I really, really like it. And I was excited to see them come out with this. This one is what the packaging looks like. So you have a nice mirror in there. You have a little brush over here too. And then you have these different shades. Now this palette seems to be geared more towards maybe the kind of the darker skin tones. The one that I have originally, those are all pretty light shades. So I'm pretty excited to see even just like a little better variety in this palette as well. So that's pretty awesome. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch these so we can get an idea of which one I want to put onto my face. So all of these do appear to be powder highlights. This is what the 4 different shades look like. I think I'm gonna go ahead and come in, ooh, should I do the, yeah, I think I'm gonna do the pink highlight. I'm just really into pink highlights right now. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the pink one. I'm gonna use a brush here from Luxie. This is the 522 tapered highlight brush. So I'm using this highlight right here. And I'm just going to apply some to the cheekbones. I really, really like my first highlighting palette from Sleek Makeup, so I kind of had some high hopes for this one, and it's looking pretty good right now. You can also find Sleek Makeup at Ulta, and they're nice and affordable, so that's awesome. Here is what that highlight from Sleek Makeup looks like. I really quite enjoying it, so I'm excited to try out a few more shades there. I'm gonna go ahead and do a mascara off camera, let my camera cool down again, and then we will come back to finish off a lip color and wrap this up. So I was putting my mascara on and I was looking at myself. I'm like, why do I feel like something is not right? I forgot to do some lower lash shadows. So I did apply my mascara, but I really wasn't planning to do a whole lot anyway, since I kind of wanted that Dazzle shadow to take the show here. But I'm just going to come back into that Viseart palette and use the second brown down from the one that I put into my crease. And I'm just using a little detail brush here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go under the lashes that I worked so hard on. Again, it's nothing too wild or crazy, but lower lash, like something on the lower lash, usually like a brown, but something, anything, I just feel like it's something that I need to have. Okay, nothing too wild or crazy, but I feel a lot better. completing that. So the mascara I used was from Milk Makeup. I figured I used a lot of their products, so I used the Kush mascara, and it's one of my favorites. So to finish it off, I'm going to use this lipstick here. This is from Persona Cosmetics, and it is in the shade OG, and it is described as a classic matte nude. Wonderful. You can get these at Ulta as well. These are $16. So Persona Cosmetics did send me all 3 of the liquid lipsticks. They came out with a pink, a red, and then also this nude here. And so far, so good for the formula. It's really comfortable. It's not too drying though, but it looks nice and matte on the lips. So I've been pretty happy with it so far. This is what the applicator looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply OG to the lips. I mean, I don't think this is the color that you would normally see me wear, but I still think it looks pretty good. I'm just kidding. I love nudes. This is a beautiful, beautiful nude. And as I was applying it, so I've worn the pink and the red so far as well. And I was like, man, I feel like this formula is reminding me of something, but what is it? It's the Huda Beauty liquid lipsticks, because it goes on very liquidy and you need like a very small amount of product to really build it up on your lips. But then it also dries really quickly and it does dry down, and it's nice and comfortable as well. So if you like the Huda Beauty liquid lipsticks, I bet you would like these from Persona as well. It only took me 3 times to figure out what lipstick formula it was similar to, but so far so good for the formula. I really am liking it, and I love this color. I love that nude so much. So after that, that's gonna go ahead and complete today's trying out new makeup. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. This is the final makeup look that we came up with today. So to run through everything that I used real quick, I mean the Tatcha primer, I'm going to have to try it a couple more times, and I'm glad that you need a small amount because I feel like I'll actually be able to get a feel if I like the primer or not. But so far on first impressions, it seemed like it will go pretty good. So the foundation, I actually noticed when I was putting on my bronzer and blush off camera, which I feel like I went a little heavy on the blush today, hello. But I noticed it had already started to kind of break up around my nose, and like I pointed out on camera, I was kind of getting that like cakiness around my nose right here as well. But other than that, like it's extremely full coverage. It covered, I mean, everything, every mark on me, and I feel like it also, I feel like my skin looks really nice. I didn't notice anything much with the forehead or clinging to the dry patches there. It's just around my nose that I seem to have the issues with, but I'm excited to test it out a little bit more, see about like the longevity of it and all of that. For the brush that I used to apply it, the Sigma F80 Air, so far so good on the brush. I'm really liking it. If you really like duo fibers and applying foundation with it, I bet that you would like this one. And again, it's Sigma, it's great quality. Oh, I forgot to say, I do have a code with Sigma. The worst ever. My code is Samantha. If you want to save any money with Sigma, I always forget to mention it, but I do always have my discount codes listed down below because I just get caught up and I forget to mention that also. But I have been liking the new brush there. And then for the Milk Makeup powder, like I'm wondering if it's the foundation that I'm loving or if I'm really actually liking this powder. I felt like it was really nice on the under eyes, like it was nice and smooth. It really did blur everything, but even just applying it to my face, like I feel like it looks really, really nice. So I definitely want to try this with, you know, maybe some of my other foundations that I kind of know how they make my skin look and see if it's this one or the foundation. I have a feeling though it's the powder. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep testing it out, but so far so good. So if you do like loose setting powders, could be a good one to check into. Just the packaging. The packaging was really getting to me. I was struggling real hard to get some product to come out of there. The First Aid Beauty Concealer, like I said, I've been really liking this one. It's really nice and lightweight, but it covers what I feel like needs to be covered, and it's super easy to blend out. Like I said, it's a little bit more hydrating as well. I just had a little bit of an issue with my shade, and again, with the shade range only having, like I said, I think the 7 shades, could be harder to find your match. So I do think it's really nice though, so I hope that they come out with more because I think a lot of people would really like that concealer. The Viseart Warm Matte Palette, of course I'll have to try more because I literally only put 1 shade in my eyes, but I'll test that one out a little bit further. The Dazzle Shadow from MAC, I just can't say that I'm super impressed with. I feel like I'm noticing it kind of like clumping up and disappearing on certain parts of my eyelid, so I don't know. I'll try this one out a little bit more. It could be user error as well because I don't use these a ton, but just right off the bat, like if I were to compare it to the Stila, I just don't feel like I have that issue with the Stila, but I want to try a few of the other finishes as well. Maybe some of the other finishes will be a little bit better, so I don't know. I have to test that one out a little bit more here. The Sleek Makeup Highlight Palette, I mean, I used the 1 shade out of there, but So far so good. These sleep palettes are really, really nice. Even their eyeshadow palettes are really nice too. And then the Persona Cosmetics liquid lipstick. I love this color and I feel like I'm really getting on with this formula as well. So like I said, check back in a couple weeks. I will have full reviews of everything that I tried out here today. But other than that, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of all the products that I tried out today. If you guys did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go. And I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.